Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel, Septeria's Room. I'm finally back to share with you part 2 of the projects that I made using my Vintage Garden Avenue digitals. I did a part 1 about 2 weeks ago, so I do apologize for the delay on coming back and doing part 2 and putting other projects in between. It just takes me a little while to try and get it all together to do a process video on how I make these projects, because it is a little bit time consuming. But here to show you the projects if you wanted to use these as some inspiration for the digitals that you have already purchased in my shop. So thank you everyone that had purchased the digitals, and I hope you also have fun making your own projects using the kit. So on part 1, I showed you how I made this lovely triple pocket envelope with lots of pockets where you could add all your bits and pieces in here. You can add a booklet, journal, tags, ephemera, envelope. And so I showed you how I made one of those. And I also showed you how I made this pocket folder as well, with tuck spots and places to tuck a few things in here. And so those 2 projects were in part 1. I'll link that video down below if you haven't seen it or you've missed it. So in this video I'm going to show you how I put together this little mini journal booklet with the file folder, and just also showing you how you can simply put a couple of little booklets like these as well. And this is another one that I'm working on. And to make this one here, which I'll show you, I'm going to use the journaling kit, and there are 5 pages to this kit, and you only need one of these pages to make the base of the journal cover. And it is the file folder page. Let me just see which one it is. There are 2 in here, so it's this one here you can choose, or there is sorry about that, or there is this one. And you can, that whole mini journal booklet just needs this whole page, and then you just add your pages and embellishments and trims and everything to decorate it the way you like it. I'm just going to show you the base. And then for these little booklets, I use the ephemera kit, and it's got the postcards inside. It's got postcards and some note cards, and it's this one here. And there are also 5 pages to that kit. So you get the postcards, which are those ones, and then you get the note cards and journaling cards in the 2 sizes, and there are some more other pretty stuff in here. But I'm going to show you how I assemble this one first. Shall I do that first? Let's do the little mini booklets first, because they're pretty straightforward. And the great thing with these projects, if you're new to junk journaling, or you're new to working with digital kits, you really don't need a lot of supplies. Just use what you have, and you can still make these really easily. So if you're a beginner, these are just a perfect way to get you started, and just to give you a basic idea on how to make a simple little booklet. So I've got the postcards already printed out and cut out, and I've already inked the edges of a couple of these, and I just printed them on one side, and then I used distressed ink. So if you are working on your digitals and you're starting out, it's great to invest on a distressed ink. This is by Tim Holtz. It's just a great way to add a little touch to the edges of your papers to give it that distressed look. And so let me show you the inside first quickly of a couple of these 2. I just did some simple embellishing with some trim or ribbon in the front, and then around the edge there. And on the inside here, I've made a little pocket Sorry about that. Jester. Let me see if I've got it. Let me get rid of this just so you could see. So there's a little side pocket there. I just use some lace, and there is no sewing in this project either, so we don't do any sewing. And these are just my tea stain papers that are tea stained. You can use book pages, music sheets, magazine pages, anything you want. You can use lined paper to make your pages. This is another pocket there. And then all I done was I just used a stapler to staple the pages together to create the booklet. And it's really simple. You're just folding your papers in half and then putting them in an order that you like. So that's that one. And I made a paper clip here with one of my acrylic flowers. This is another one. I just use a different kind of paper clip just to keep the little booklet closed, and also decorates the cover with just some lace fabric that I have. Did a little bit of cluster here with some bits and pieces of crochet trim and tulle. Another similar booklet. There's a pocket there as well, just to add some little mini tags if you have, or little die cuts. I made the pages fold out so you have more room for journaling. It's the same. And these would make great little gifts as well for your junk journaling friends. You can add one of these into a little packaged Happy Mail pack. You can even tuck one of these inside a pocket in one of your larger journals. So it's just a nice little simple booklet. So I'm going to show you how to make one of these now. This is another one. I'm finishing on making one. So I wanted the cover a little bit bigger than this size. So I'll just show you. So you can see the cover is a little bit bigger. And all you need to do, if you want to make your cover bigger and using this as your front, all you do is, what I've done is I've just laid a larger piece of backing paper. This is a book page. I just sort of tore it to the size I like the cover to be. And then I just glued it to the back of the postcard. So I've got a larger piece, and then I just fold that over and you've got a larger journal cover. And I just added some trim here in between it just to also decorate that. And I'm just adding some more pages in here to this one. So that one I'm just finishing is pretty much the same as this. So what I've got here is, I'm just going to pick out the one that I've already distressed. So this one I use a stenciling. So if you haven't got any tea stain paper and you want to just sort of give it a more sort of a pattern instead of having it just plain white, you could stamp it, use your stamp and stamp over it. I just use a stencil like this one and just place that on the top, and then use my distress ink and just sort of dab it around, and then I've got that pattern. So that's that. So I'm going to just use this one that I've already used. That's going to be my cover. And I've just got a bunch of papers. And then you just need a stapler. This is just a standard stapler that's got a depth of about 3 inches in depth. So it's enough to be able to slide that through. There's plenty of room for me to get that in, to staple that. So let me just grab a couple of different papers to make the pages. So I've got all sorts of different papers here. So I'm just finding papers that's going to sort of roughly be about the same size as the postcard. Let me just grab that out. You can use that. Let's see if we can do something with that piece. This is a a ledger. That's an old ledger, an original piece. Let's see if I can use that. I've got a music sheet, some book pages. Let me just use one of those. I'm not going to fuss too much on putting too many pages. I'm just showing you how I assemble it really easily. I think the hardest part is finding the papers you want to add into your little mini journal. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this in half. I've got the line there. You can fold it wherever. You can go and fold it off center if you want. So really, you just fold it where you like it. I'm just going to fold that. And I'm just going to, I like to ink where all the folds are as well, so that sort of helps. Just put my ruler. So I'm just going to just use, so I've got this size book page, and I'm going to make this with a pocket like I did with the other one. Just fold that over. So that'll be the tuck pocket, and I'm just going to just measure the inside of the book. Okay, that should. And there are no rules on how you put your pages together or what you want to use. It's a personal thing, so don't feel that you're doing anything wrong in how you put it. So that's that. That's one page. I might be able to get a couple of pages with this one. Okay. Let's see. I think I can get 2 pages with this. Maybe 3. That. Let's just add one more so there's more spots to journal. So I'm just cutting them all to fit inside the cover. So what have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to cut the excess piece. I'm going to just fold it in, and that'll give me some extra spot to write in. And that's the same if you want to do that. So I've got that little extra piece. I'm going to fold that in. Also creates a little flippy page, which makes it fun. That's one. Alright, so I've got one page. I might go that way. It's one. I'll go that way. Let's add something else in the middle. Here's this piece. I might go that way, that's perfect. Might add that. So I'm just stacking them up in the middle with the fold. Then I've got that. And what else do I have here? I've got this old piano sheet. Let's add that in there. On the spot there, you can do some journaling there. Just see. It's all right if it's sort of, it's a little bit higher. I might actually, don't mind that. I might go a little bit more. So it's peeking out a bit. I've got two. I might just use the two that I have folded. I might use this too. One. I think that should do it. Just going to fold that. All right, so we'll just work with those. I might even add, this is one of my old digital, one of my other digitals. Let's add some colour in there. Okay, let's just do that. One, two. I'll put that there. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I won't add too many because I don't want to bore you with me fumbling around with what papers I'm going to add. I think that should do it. I'll put that in the middle. Okay, let's just fold all this up and add it into the cover. So I'm just going to get a paper clip. So let's have a look at the pages. So before I staple the pages, I just like to have a look and see if I'm happy with the placement of all the pages. And there's none upside down. So there, got that. That's going to be a pocket. That one flips open. Got that, I have that. I think I'm going to add something in this so it's not too white. I like this, I wish this was a little bit longer. Wider, I mean. Okay. Let's just add another music piece. Just add that to it, just to break up the white. All right, that should do it. So I'm going to staple this now. Well, before I staple it, just have to have a look. That book page I have with the pocket, I'm just going to add some trim along the bottom there just to decorate that, and also just makes it a little bit more sturdy. And it'll, oh, this is pretty. I might just use this one. It's the first one that I picked. Or maybe this one. I think I'll use this one. And I'll have that sort of hanging at the bottom. Okay, we'll use that. And I'll have a little bit hanging out because I like a little bit of lace or trim hanging out the edge of the pages. So we don't even need to stitch it. I'm just going to glue it in place. And I might even just go up a little bit more just to give it more depth for the pocket. And then I'll glue down these two edges. So it's pretty how it's hanging off the edge there, just makes it look more decorative. Okay, so that should do that. And now, once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to staple it, and that gives me my little booklet. So what I'll do is, now that it's all lined up, I'll just grab a paper clip to hold the two edges so that the papers don't, so just to position all the papers, making sure it's all where I want them. I'll just get my stapler, and I'm just going to add two staples, one there, one there. So now I've binded the little mini journal booklet without using any sewing or any hinges, and then you can just keep that like that to keep it flat. And with this one I did add a side pocket there, and just on that side, so let's do that as well, just to have somewhere extra to tuck in some small tags or ephemera pieces. So if you've got some trim, you can just add one of those. I think I've got a smaller piece. Let's use this one. I might go that way. I like the scalloped edge on the outside, so we'll do that. So I'm just going to leave a little bit hanging at the top. How pretty does that look? With a bit of lace, not a lot of embellishing to it. And then you've got yourself a little side pocket there. And then there should be another pocket in here. And you can keep adding more trims and bits and pieces. Let me just add something here just to show you. You can still pretty it all up with adding more embellishing. Let's add that to there. Actually, no, let's put it on here. And I might actually staple that in place. Just decorates the edge of the paper. Then you can add a little dangle, some little beads, like a little tab there. I could even add something else there just to cover that up. I might just add this. This is part of a doily. Just to cover that staple. Okay, so there we go. So that is just a simple little booklet, just adding all your papers that you want to add, fold it in half, staple the center, and you can then have that ready as a little mini booklet. So that's done. I didn't embellish the front, but you can have fun doing what you like to the front or leave it as is. And there's the back, very pretty, so cute. So that's that one done. And now I'm just going to show you how to create the base of the mini journal booklet with the file folder. And I use some seam binding for the closure. And this is a little added floating embellishment I just placed to the front. And it's a nice spot here to write. I just adhered it to tea sand paper, and it just makes it a bit more sturdy. And I did some layering with some a book page and some parchment paper and some lace, and then just added a little embellishment at the top, and it just sits like that. And this is so I'm just going to show you the base. And the pages are pretty much the same as what I've shown you here. Just use your papers that you like. And then you can see there, I've just added 2 staples, top and bottom. You can add 3 if you want to make it more secure. So to make the base, so once you've decided which page you want to make your file folder cover, you're just going to cut each of the pieces out. And I also picked out a pocket from the pocket page and cut one out, which I've already cut this one. And the one that I'm working on is this print here. They're the 4 pieces we're going to work with, and a pocket. And we'll also, I'm going to show you how to quickly make one of these to add inside the little pocket as well. And then there is the back with a belly band. And what I've got here are these pieces. So I've already distressed the little mini folder, and I corner rounded the two corners here and these two corners just to make it a little bit more neater, I guess. And so we've got this one here. This is going to be the cover, and then I'm just going to corner around all four corners. You don't have to do that. If you want to leave it as is, that's fine. I'm just going to go and do that, and then I'll just quickly distress the edges. And I'm not going to worry about stenciling or decorating the inside part. With this one I did some stenciling just to sort of not make it white. You can see there. I'm not going to worry about that in this video. But you can print this on double-sided and add another print onto the back. And I'm just going to fold this and line these two edges as best I can, like that. So that's the front, or you can have this one as the front. You can choose whichever side you want the front. You can have this side, you can have that side. I'll work on this side. And then what I've done here is there's an ephemera kit with the 5 pages. I've just cut out that label piece and stuck that there. That'd be a great spot to write a date or what the journal is about, but I didn't cut that out. So now we have this. What I might do is I might just ink that inside a bit. All right, so we've done that. And we've got this piece, that piece, and then this is the belly band. I'm going to adhere the pocket to the front here. You can have two. You can have one pocket down here. You can add another pocket up here because there are a couple of pockets on the page that you can add another one. I'm just going to, I've folded down the 3 sides and I'll just add glue to those 3 sides. And you've already got yourself a little pocket folder all done. And you can add some trim down here and decorate it. I think I might do that since I've got my little tray of trim. Oh my God, I've got another one. I've got heaps of trim everywhere. I just go, you know what, I've got another one here. Let's use this one. This is a nice one on here. We'll put this one. So I'm just going to just lift that up a little bit. Just slide that under. Okay, so that's glued in place. See how pretty that is already on the bottom. Okay, so that should do that part. And then you've got this piece. This is going to be the belly band that's on the back here. And all I did here is, now there is a little bit of extra, it's a little bit longer than the folder. You can fold that in if you want so that you've got a little bit more room. and glue that in, or you can just trim it. So let's see, so you can, what I'll do is, so you can just fold that down a little bit on one side. And do the same to the other side. And then you just add glue to the top and bottom, and then glue that in like that. And that gives you sort of a bit more room for anything more thicker. But if you don't want to, you can just trim it off. I might just trim this off. Really doesn't matter how you do it. I made it a little bit longer so you can have that option. So simply gluing that there. Then I'll just add some glue. So now you have a belly band. So I might even adhere that to the front. I put that heart shape cut out in one of the pages and made this into a pocket. So this is a page, so it's glued down. So that's one of the pages, and I just glued one half of the heart at the back to make a tuck pocket. So that's where I place this heart here, but I don't have any pages in here, so I'm going to glue it to I might glue it down here, and that will just still look pretty. So let's glue that there. So that'll decorate the back of the cover. And then we've got this piece, and that fits perfectly in there like that. And I'll make the little double pocket ephemera holder so you can add all of your little fussy cut pieces from the kit in here, so they're all nicely stored away. So I'll show you how to make the double pocket. Most of you will probably already know how to make it, but I'll just do one in this video for this folder. And I'm using a book page because it's nice and thin, and you can use them for any project. So what I'm going to do is, you just want a book page that's let me see, is it going to go this way? Yeah, you want your book page to be a little bit wider than your file folder, and the length doesn't matter at this stage, but just a book page that's wider than this piece. And then all I'm going to do is, I've got two here, we're going to just fold over just a little bit, not too much, just that much is fine. And then we're going to fold this again, and when you fold it, you want to fold it so that it's a little bit less than the height of the folder. So I'm just going to keep going till I'm happy with the height. So I just want it a little bit in. Let's see, that's fine, so that's okay. Yeah, just want a little bit shorter than the height. And then we're just going to cut out that excess piece. We don't need that. so what you'll have is you'll have that piece that's folded and that's in half, like that. And then what we'll do now is we're going to fold this in half. So that's the flat piece folded in half for now. And that folded part is going to get placed inside. And because it's sticking out, we are going to trim that off a little bit lower than this edge. And that's the same with this edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just fold it. You can do it however you like. I'm just going to find what works for me. There. You can fold it first if you want. So what you want is you pretty much just want it so that it sits inside the cover, and that part is where we did the fold. We're going to glue that in. So let's glue that in now. So now you've got two openings here with that fold. Okay. And then we're just going to glue in the middle, just a little bit of glue going right through. You can use double-sided tape if you want to. Press that in, and that's going to glue the two parts back to back. And now we'll add glue as well to the center here, and also coming around to the other side. And then we're just going to close that up, and that will give you the double pocket once your glue's all set. There you go, and that's your little double pocket ephemera holder, and that will fit in there. And then you just add your pages like I have in here, and then just staple them together once you're happy with it. And once you've stapled your pages, let's just say I've got a page here. Let me just find something. What have I got here? So let's just say you've got a page in here, whatever pages you want to use. Well, let's just use this one just so you've got an idea. Once you're happy with that, you just find your preferred trim or ribbon. I won't staple that in, but once you staple that in, you just grab your preferred trim, seam binding or ribbon or anything that you have. That just helps cover the staple. Let's just staple this in. Might as well. Just, why not? Let's just staple that in. And all I do is I just wrap this around, and that will cover the staple. And then come to the front. Let's see how much I've got here. You want a good length, because what you want to do is you're going to tie a knot and bring it around. Just tie a knot, or a double knot might be better. Tie a double knot, And then you just swing one to the back and one to the front, and then you just close it up, and that will give you a closure. And then just trim off the excess piece of trim so it's not too long. And then you can make one of these and just tuck that in the front like that. And that's how I did the cover for this journal with the file folder. So just undo that, and then you've got yourself another mini journal booklet. And this size will fit in that envelope that I just showed you. You can have it stored in there, which I've just I keep losing everything. So that will fit in that envelope, triple envelope that I showed you. I think it's in the plastic pile that I have here. You can see this will fit nicely in here. And the little booklets can fit in there too. You can tuck that in here. Oh, there's an envelope. But you can tuck that in there, or you can tuck it in here. So you've got another spot for that. This is a lovely envelope. So I hope you enjoyed this part 2 video of my projects using the Vintage Garden Avenue kit. But you can make all sorts of projects with it. You don't have to use the projects that I made. Have fun enjoying creating. The papers are really lovely, and you can make some nice simple quick projects like I have here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.